Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christine. So I wanted to explain why I didn't have a couple of videos a couple of weeks ago. I had been very busy, and I mean extremely busy. The semester was coming to an end. We had major projects we needed to work on. Well, especially for education, I had a major project I needed to work on. And that was keeping me from producing a video. But there was more to it. I was also in the process of moving. I am currently recording this video in my bathroom because it's the only place in the house that has good light, because it's dark and gloomy outside and it's raining, and I needed to put this video together. And everywhere else the house has big windows letting in light, but it's dark light. And so for my education class, we needed to work on a group project. We needed to come up with a lesson plan, with a lesson, and we had to produce a bulletin board display. Myself and 3 other women. I have to say that the women that I worked with, phenomenal. When the semester started, there was this one particular lady, always outspoken, always asked questions, and I was like, this girl, she's something, she's smart. I knew right away I wanted to work with her. If there was a chance for me to work with her, I wanted to absolutely work with her, because she knew her stuff, simply because she was or is working for the district, one of the districts here in San Antonio. So she had an idea of what was going on. So right away, I wanted to work with her. The other 2 ladies, one of them in particular, for all the group projects that we had within the semester, within the class, I was always paired with her. And she works wonderfully. She's always open to suggestions. She does give her contributions as well. Very sweet girl. And I'm glad that I was able to work with her in the end, because it just brought the whole semester in full circle. Every time we were paired into a group, I was paired with her and then maybe someone else. So it was great working with her. The last lady that we had in the group, I had worked with her on one other project, and absolutely phenomenal. Always open to suggestions, also giving her 2 cents, and asking for help when she needed it. And it was great. At the end, the 4 of us came together and worked on an amazing project, amazing lesson, an amazing bulletin board. So let me explain to you what was required in the project. We had to put together a bulletin board as if we were teaching. So we had to purchase a trifold, kind of like the ones kids use for science fairs, and then we had to decorate it with what our lesson was going to be. Then we had to put together our lesson plan. We had to have, it had to state what grade we were teaching, the subject we're teaching. It had to have the TEKS, and it also had to have, if we couldn't find the TEKS, we had to find the national standards. And so we had to find those, and we had to write in the procedure and how we were going to teach our lesson. I explained to the girls that yes, I've worked before as a teacher for almost 10 years. When I worked at the private schools, I did not have to worry about any Texas standards, because the standards for private school are different for state public schools. So finding the TEKS was not difficult for me. but it was something that I never had to do before, so I relied on one of my group members to show me where I could find those teaks, and I'm very grateful to her for that, because now I know if I ever work at a public school, I know where I need to look for. I know where I need to go to look for those teaks. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you our lesson plan. I am going to show you the assessments. Oh, and also we need, before I do show you all that, we also had to have the assessments for the students, and we had to modify our lesson for any student, potential students in our class, whether they be GT or it's gifted and talented, or ADHD or autistic. We needed to show our modifications for potential students. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all that. I'm going to show you the lesson plan. I'm going to show you the slides we produced, and I'm going to show you a picture of our bulletin board.
Okay, so here is the lesson plan that we put together. Let me just apologize real quick. I wish I could show you all in present mode. Unfortunately, I cannot screen record in present mode at the same time. So that's why you see it in this way. The lesson plan does go into great detail, so I am not going to read everything to you, but if you want to pause it and take the time to read it, go ahead and do that. I'm just going to quickly go through everything here. This first page, you do see the area content we're covering and the grade level for this lesson. It also shows the lesson plan title. You also see our objective for this lesson, and you do see the TEAKS. I don't think I covered what TEAKS stand for. TEAKS stands for Texas Essential Knowledge and Skill. Since I do live in Texas, and if I want to be a public school teacher, I would have to cover the Texas curriculum standards, and I was able to find these TEAKS on the website for the Texas Education Agency. Also here you do see the supplies and materials that will be needed for this lesson. These next two pages actually go over the direction for the teacher preparation. They go into great detail on how to put the bulletin board together. I'm not going to read it to you all. It is kind of lengthy, but like I said, it goes into great detail. This next page goes into the opening activity to the lesson, and this explains the Google slides that we also put together. So here you have the video that we want to present to the students. You also have here the questions we're going to ask the students. It also shows the vocabulary words that we're going to cover. Then it goes into the questions we're going to ask the students after we watch the video. And then here it explains the guided practice that we will go over with our students, basically the vocabulary words, and then going over the different stages of the butterfly. Here it explains the independent practice we put together for the students, where the students actually create the 4 different stages of the butterfly's life cycle. Then we explain our closing and the assessments we put together for the students. And like I said, this is a packet put together for our future classes. So I went ahead and put in a little note to the parents, because one of our stages in the independent practice is for the students to glue leaves onto a roll of toilet paper. So this letter asks the parents to please help their child and gather leaves to bring into class in preparation for this project. And then here's a small little reminder to the parents about the leaves. These are the pictures that we used on the bulletin board, as well as these arrows. I created these labels for the different stages, but unfortunately we did not use them. I went ahead and kept them in here just for the future. Here are the vocabulary words, the definitions to the vocabulary words, and then here is one of the assessments for the students. Here's another assessment. This one's modified for GT, where they have to describe the stages, describe each stages of the butterfly's life cycles, and they have to write in complete sentence. One of the ladies in the groups is very big on exit tickets. She really likes them. So we created an exit ticket for our students, and it's basically asking the students, what does the word metamorphosis mean? So they would have to write there what metamorphosis means before they can leave the class. So I really wanted the students to have homework outside of the class, and I'm going to read this one to you all. My thoughts for this homework was maybe during a 3-day weekend they can work on this. And it says, in the next few days you're going to be a scientist. I need you to be a lepidopterist, a scientist that studies butterflies and moths. For homework, you are going to go outside, look for butterflies, and record your findings. You can go to your front or backyard, to a park, or even the butterfly garden at the San Antonio Zoo. You will record your findings in the data sheets that are provided. You must record your data for 3 days. We will go over your findings when we return to class. Scientists look at the world with open minds and question everything. So go out there and have fun. So I really wanted something where the students had to work on their own and collect data. So here is the data sheet that I created for them. So this is the whole packet. This is the assessments, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the slides that we created also for our lesson. And when we presented our lesson, we had to do it as if we were actually teaching the class. So when we started with our slides and presented the objectives, we asked a classmate to read the slides for us. So here we have the objectives. Here's a question we asked. Here is another question. Where do butterflies come from? How do caterpillars turn into butterflies? And who can tell me what the word transformation means? And then after these questions, we went into a video, and then we watched the video. After we watched the video, we went over our vocabulary words on our bulletin board. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that next. What the bulletin board looked like. So here's the bulletin board that we put together. We covered it in fabric that had leaves on it. I thought it was actually very fitting for this bulletin board. We cut out the letters so it could say life cycles of a butterfly. One of the group members had little lights with butterflies on them, and we put it on top. Looked absolutely cute. We turned it on. It was very nice to see. Here on the left hand side, we have the vocabulary words with the definition. And the idea of this was to have the students come up to the bulletin board and put the vocabulary word with their definition together. We would have these mixed up so that way the students can come up and match the word to the definitions. And we did put them on Velcro. Here in the center, we have the images of the life cycle, and on the right here was what we wanted the students to create. You know, it doesn't show it on this picture here, but we did add stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 later on. So that way when the students come up to the board, they can put these stages in order. So that's what we wanted to do. I hope it's making sense to you guys. If it's not, I am terribly sorry. I don't feel like I'm explaining it correctly. But This was the independent practice that we wanted the students to do, where they created the 4 stages. This one here is the first stage. We glued leaves onto a toilet paper tube, and then we had white little beads glued on. Here's the stage 2, where we took pom-poms and glued them on the toilet paper tube to make our caterpillar. Here is stage 3, where we created the chrysalis. We just wrapped strips of construction paper around the tube. And then stage 4 was the butterfly. Also, we used tissue paper, a clothespin, and pipe cleaners to create the butterfly. And then in the end, what we did was we took the butterfly and put it into the chrysalis and pulled it out on the other end as if the butterfly was coming through. It worked out really well. It was super cute. The teacher was impressed with our lesson.
It was a lot of work. I do have to say, within the time that we were putting together the lesson plan, that we were brainstorming and talking over what we wanted to do, my teacher brain went crazy. There were times that I would be laying down, getting ready for bed, closing my eyes, and I would think of something and be like, I need to type this out. And so my teacher brain went crazy. I put together a lot of assessments together for the students for the lesson, and I shared it with the group. Some were used, some were not, and it's fine. Once my brain gets all crazy like that, I have to write it out. That way I don't forget it later. And it was a little difficult to sleep those couple of days when we were in beast mode trying to finish, because we did have to present it to the class. So now that the semester is over, and this was the last project for this was our final project for our education class, and it was a major grade. This was in turn our final exam. So I'm happy to say that I did get 100 on it. Comments from the teacher were fabulous. She said we did an absolutely wonderful job with the way we not only presented the lesson, but the way we had everything organized. I tell you, my teacher brain just went crazy. So the way we had it all organized, she really appreciated that we had it done that way. And because we presented it as a packet, and it just worked out wonderful. And I did pass my education class with a 97, so I am very happy with that. But I'll talk more on that one on my education review video. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.